I now pronounce by the power vested in me, you may kiss the bride.
All of the unwanted people should host a little meet and greet in Anaheim, California on the same days as VidCon.
Welcome to the times where trial by internet is the new norm, where it seems to be guilty until proven innocent. Without a doubt, the internet mob has its redeeming qualities, catching animal abusers, exposing Austin Jones, and identifying all those nasty people participating in the ice cream challenge.
Let's put that shit back. Let's go.
Despite this, it also has its caveats. Businesses being shut down because of fabricated reviews, the cancellation of someone without hearing their side of the story first, and overall way too much outrage. It can make places like Twitter unbearable. We can agree that trial by internet has its positives and negatives. What's rarely talked about though is the aftermath. Does the punishment given by the internet to the offender work, or is it actually just benefiting them in the long run? To explore this topic, we'll examine what happened to Tana Mongeau after the failure of Tanacon and her docuseries with Shane Dawson. Welcome to Psych IRL, my name is Donna. Can you believe that it's been a year since Tanacon, and now VidCon just passed a month ago? And guess who was invited to VidCon? That's right, Tana Mongeau herself was invited to VidCon. And you remember how mad the internet was at this failed Tanacon thing? So I got thinking, does the full wrath of the internet actually work? In 2018, Tana released a video about why she wouldn't be attending VidCon. In it, she expressed how much of an impact YouTube had in her life.
I did not have the best family life, shocker. I didn't like school, shocker. So my #1 outlet for anything to make me happy growing up was always YouTube. If I had a bad day or my family was fighting and I literally needed sounds to drown out the screaming, I would play YouTube videos. And when I made my first YouTube video, I literally have goosebumps. I sat down with the premise of YouTube saved my life. Shane Dawson saved my life. Jenna Marbles saved my life. Funny people who were unapologetically afraid to be themselves were the people that kept me fighting. They were the people that for the first time in my life gave me inspiration.
Things changed for her when she started creating YouTube videos and increasing in popularity.
Everything was just happening overnight. I was gaining hundreds of thousands of subscribers a month and things were just blowing up before my eyes, and it's like I couldn't even catch my breath. It was like before I knew it, I couldn't go places without meeting fans, and I was ready to have meet and greets.
As her audience multiplied, she finally had the chance to go to VidCon in 2016. According to Tana, VidCon promised her a spot as a featured creator.
VidCon is telling my manager every single day, like, don't worry, we're gonna make her a featured creator. There's a super high demand for her. We see all the tweets. We know she's really excited. We're excited to have her, whatever. And so then the 2016 VidCon lineup gets announced, and I'm tweeting like I'm going to VidCon. They said I can be a featured creator. I'm so excited to meet you guys. Everyone's tweeting me back, and the lineup gets dropped, and I'm not on it, and I'm not a featured creator.
Despite the setback, she decided to attend nonetheless, without being a featured creator. That's not a crime. Anyone can buy a ticket. This caused massive problems though. One of the perks of being a featured creator is security. These creators often stay at separate hotel rooms, they have access to different entrances and exits not accessible to the public, and it's to ultimately protect them from being mobbed by their fans. At the time, Tana had a sizable audience and was friends with many other featured creators. But because she did not have a featured creator pass, she did not have access to these security perks.
And I instantly start to get incredibly, extremely mobbed. And so the second I start getting mobbed, people are asking for photos, they're asking for signatures, I'm like taking videos. Security comes out, they grab me by my arm and they pull us into this room and they're like, listen, this is a safety hazard, you can't do this.
Though she was promised a badge and her large following was presenting a security risk, VidCon staff would not concede into giving her one. Regardless of the drama in 2016, she still felt loyalty for VidCon and kept the drama to herself, in hopes she'd be featured next year. Long story short, the same thing happens. VidCon 2017, she is promised a featured creator badge. Her face is even plastered all over the place. She promotes the event, and last minute, they announce that she will not be featured. VidCon 2018, they make the same promise. But last minute, they decide to ban her from the event altogether. This third incident was what caused her to share her story to her viewers. The video had over 3 million views and massive support from the community. After such a huge response, the fans joke that she should hold her own convention with the hashtag Tanacon. This joke would soon transform into a reality when a promoter, Good Times Live, claimed they could make this happen. This year, Tana wanted to make her event at the same time as VidCon, because being petty is fun. Due to that fact, they had to do this in under 40 days. What could go wrong? Spoiler alert, everything went wrong.
When 20,000 people showed up at this hotel behind me, things went really bad, really fast.
5.5 hours of standing in the sun for this delicious sunburn.
Almost 5 hours.
Bro, people robbing out here.
Stop, stop, stop. You are going to make this worse if you start stealing badges. I might just do a little what's in my bagsy from Tanacon. Gucci princess, but I can't afford that because I wasted my money on a ticket.
This convention was supposed to be Tana's version of VidCon. It was going to be free, or at least cheaper than the original convention, but it ended up being a disaster. You could even call it the YouTubers' version of Firefest. Many YouTubers were promised to be featured at Tana's event, but the number of attendees couldn't even enter the venue. You had crowds angry at not being able to enter, people passing out because of dehydration, and people who paid VIP tickets being ripped off.
We paid $77 for nothing!
Because of such unsafe conditions, Tanacon was shut down within 1 day.
And as you could see, with good reason, the internet was mad. But when it comes to influencers, does that outrage actually work? Does it prevent them from committing the act again? Or does it reward them?
Seeing as Tana is no stranger to controversy, the internet saw this event as another one of Tana's disruptions, another bad headline to add to the long list of everything wrong with influencers. Of course, it was up to the internet to stop this. Very much like human parental figures, the internet punishes their kids too. According to B.F. Skinner's learning theory, punishment is something designed to weaken a behavior. In this case, that behavior would be Tana's negligence towards her fans. Punishment can come in the form of negative or positive. Positive punishment is when a negative stimulus is added to the environment so that the behavior is discouraged. This happens when a number of viewers and creators criticize Tana for her poorly planned event and the effect it had on her fans. So the negative stimulus added is criticism.
There was a lot of my fans mad. There was a lot of the media saying my fans were mad. There were a lot of other people's fans. I think it was a lot of that too.
Right.
You know, people making videos about me and then their fans like coming to attack me. But I also think that I deserved the heat that I got.
Right.
I also think I wouldn't have stepped back from the situation and really been wow, where did I if it wasn't for that heat. I think that it was good for me to get knocked off of everything.
Negative punishment happens when a positive stimulus is removed from the individual. The internet can often do that with a piece of content they find so offensive, they expose it and get it demonetized. In Tana's case, that didn't really happen. Because of the pressure though, she was kind of forced to take a break from social media for about a month.
Which is the longest break I have taken in over 3 years.
If social media is a positive stimulus for her, it being taken away could serve as negative punishment.
Now the thing with punishment is that it doesn't always work because it teaches someone what not to do rather than what to do. And you can see that with other controversies. Danielle Cohn, for example, people criticize her online, yet she continues that cycle of bad behavior. Now, for her, I wouldn't say bad as in she can get sued. I kind of mean that, scandalous? Right word? Anyway, that's beside the point. Even though she gets criticized, she continues that behavior. The thing with the internet, though, is also it reinforces bad behavior through views and attention.
Along with punishment, reinforcement is also another factor that changes behavior. This time, it's something that strengthens a desired behavior. That can also be positive or negative. Positive reinforcement happens when a good stimulus is added to the environment so that the behavior is encouraged. Though Tana received criticism criticism, she also received attention. Attention, whether bad or good, often ends up beneficial for the one receiving it. In the case of bad attention, one still receives criticism from a large group of people, but at the same time, they're exposed to another group of people that actually sympathizes with them.
After doing Tanacon, I was expecting, because of how much it failed, like every company ever to kind of be like, oh my god, like get away from me, like you're Tana from Tanacon, like I don't want, you know.
Sure.
But like so many companies, I feel like ended up seeing that it did like draw in a lot of people. It was just like the planning, everything went so wrong. Like what if it were done so right? So I ended up getting like a lot of offers to do another Tanacon.
Like it's almost like this was like a prototype. Like, why don't we try and make this something better?
If you think about the controversial figures of YouTube today, you'll find that many of them are still quite popular. Many had fears that this was another stunt from Tana to gain attention, enabling her bad behavior. This thought was further perpetuated by the fact that Shane Dawson wanted to do a documentary with Tana and her disastrous convention. Because Shane was a major feature for a lot of fans attending this convention, he also felt responsibility for the catastrophic nature of it.
I told people come see me and they got nothing.
This 3-part docu-series he would make explores what happened at the event, the promoter side and Tana's side. During the interview, Shane did have some critical words, but also there were some things he could have questioned a little bit more. Some critics say Shane's approach was a little too soft. From their perspective, this was negative reinforcement. A negative stimulus was being removed, therefore reinforcing Tana's bad behavior. Some say his bias from working together with Tana in the past clouded his judgment, and instead of punishment, she got reinforcement.
From what we've seen online, she hasn't really done anything major. She's been involved in some drama or scandals, but it's nothing more than that. There are things that get drama channels talking, like her split with her ex, or her Twitter beef with Bella Thorne and their breakup, marriage to Jake Paul. So they're all drama-related events, but it's nothing really to be concerned about. To me, it was really interesting seeing that Shane Dawson documentary because it was putting another perspective into punishing and reinforcing someone's behavior. It went more on the gentler side, though that gentle kind of criticism wasn't very satisfying to see. Who knows, it might have worked. I mean, Tana could have created a Tanacon too, and I assure you that it'd bring in lots of money. I know a lot more influencers would be attending just to catch the drama, so I'm guarantee you that it would make a lot of money. But she didn't, so that's a surprising thing that happened. And maybe it was the fact that disappointing someone that you look up to was a little bit more embarrassing, shameful, and regretful than disappointing people that are criticizing you and you have no idea who they are. And maybe that's the thing that motivated Tana to change.
At night when I go to sleep, like what really hurts me about Tanacon is like that I put the people that love and supported me like at risk, you know, or someone who believed in my idea at risk. That to me was what made the Tanacon the, you know, something that really like stepped me back.
I will say though that there is a possibility that this is just a business move. Viacom owns MTV and VidCon. As you know, Tana is currently working with MTV, and when VidCon asked Tana to come to VidCon, it is kind of awkward if she said no. So who knows? Only Tana knows if she's actually changed.
Up until now, I've really hated talking about this or bringing this subject up. Tanacon is one of those things that I, once everything was figured out, really just wanted to erase. And I've spent the last like 9 months really figuring out how I could grow from it and move on and become a better person and kind of doing all of that off of the internet, because I felt like for a while coming on and being like, look, I've grown, is like not what you do in a situation like that, you know? And while it was the worst thing ever, and I wish I could just erase it, I am very grateful for the person it has made me right now.
Let's look on the bright side. At the end of the day, she didn't give anyone a sunburn this year.
The internet often uses punishment to discourage the actions of bad players. At the same time, though, they encourage them and reinforce those behaviors by giving them attention. We rarely reinforce good behavior on this site. OG creators like Jenna Marbles or Ryan Higa, who have a small rap sheet, don't get discussed as regularly by many. The benefits of controversy seem to outweigh its short-term pitfalls. It's one big mixed message. We hate your guts, but also here's a fat stack of cash. That deal is pretty enticing if you ask me.
What do you think? Did that internet outrage actually work to help change Tana's behavior? Did that criticism actually work? Or nah? There's definitely a huge number of times where internet outrage didn't work. I'm talking about false accusations that I'm not gonna bring up because it's gonna start fights in the comments. Yep, I will see you guys next time. Stay psyched.